And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Upsurge Premier League week number 2 with RMU versus Virginia Tech, RMU Eagles, sorry. My name is Orbital. I'm joined here by Sordo. How are you doing today, Sordo?
Good, good. We're finally back at it again. It's been a while, Orbital. We haven't
It,
been together since UPL finals
it,
last split.
yeah, it was a great time and we enjoyed it immensely. But again, all of that is in the past. We are currently into the summer/fall series right now, and we do have some new teams. Obviously, RMU, Robert Morris University Eagles, and Virginia Tech coming out, two schools coming out to battle it out on the Rift. And interestingly enough, already with two new teams coming in, they've already shown that they can make their way through their individual group, as they both are currently 1-0 in the standings.
And yeah, no, they are both sitting at 1-0, though Robert Morris University is above Virginia Tech right now, that they did beat their previous opponent 2-0, whereas Virginia Tech did go 2-1. So again, it's basically like the one seed versus the one seed at this point. We have the two top teams coming out of the Cloud Division, minus MSU here, that is also sitting at 2-0 game wise, 1-0 series wise. And, it's going to be an exciting match. The meta right now has been such in favor of, bot lane fights and early aggressive junglers. We've kind of started to shift away from the tanks, even though things like the Skarner, like the J4, are still really prominent. But we are getting into the picks and bans here. Karthus, Kiana taken off the table, as well as the Evelyn already gone. Jesus, we just want to get these AP junglers out of the meta and out of the game today. Elise also following up as well.
Yeah, they had some niche changes, I would say, to a lot of the 80-based junglers, and we're starting to see these APs crop back up. Evelyn with the Execute, Karthus again with the power of farming. We've seen him currently played in the World's play-in stage quite a bit, and Elise as well. So taking these away are more top-tier picks taken away from Virginia Tech, as well as RMU. Lucian taken away from the Virginia Tech bottom lane. So again, a high priority ADC not being allowed to be played through. But again, this does mean no one is target banning a certain player just yet.
Yeah, and I mean, you ban out the Elise just to avoid having things like the Renekton Elise come up, things like the Camille Elise that have become just so prominent in competitive play. Grog is going to be the pick up here, which is kind of interesting because you still have such strong flex picks like the Karma, like the Silas, still available. Also, the Morgana is still up. Virginia Tech could just go straight up with the Caitlyn Morgana, considered one of the strongest lanes in the game, but they're going to hover the Gangplank here instead. That might just be a lock-in here, and it is for Phantom Brick. I don't know. Picking Gangplank blind is it's kind of a risky, but he's such a strong late game champion that if you're just gonna play towards the late game, it doesn't really matter who you play it into.
Oh, absolutely. And that's something that you do have to think about is a way I always see it is you have to decide which lane you're going to blind pick, because there's always going to be a few lanes. And if your top laner feels confident enough, able to pick up that Gangplank, able to farm it out no matter what lane you are against, that has to feel good, right? You know you're going to have that mid to late game carry. But on that flip side, RMU automatically locking in the Pantheon and Draven. So two high priority champions coming out for them. Gonna make it very interesting coming towards this early game to see where they prioritize that jungle pressure now.
All right, so for me, I saw the Pantheon and immediately my mind went to Talia Pantheon, which we've started to see gain some traction throughout, duo queue into the Korean servers. But it's going to be the Draven instead. It could still be the Pantheon support, just to have that point and click CC. We might also see it just go into the Gangplank here. Xayah, though, going to be picked up for Virginia Tech, which is a really good pick here. Just because of Xayah's invulnerability and how important that is in the meta right now, she has become the top tier ADC. Now, even though Rakan was available, they still decided to go with the Leona. They do need that hard engage from a distance. They have the Gangplank slow into the Solar Flare, So it would be a pretty good option for there. Sejuani Thresh going to be taken off. They really don't want to give Virginia Tech any more options to kind of just go in and have a lot of peel for that Zaya.
Yeah, taking it away. And this is, again, this is a very aggressive versus aggressive style. When you have the Leona, when you have that Gangplank, it signals very much you want to go in. So I'm interested to see how well Virginia Tech, their ADC, will be able to micromanage their own life, if that makes sense. You know, a lot of that kiting ability will be directly on him to really make it happen against a Gragas, against a Pantheon, against a Draven, who, again, they have ruled it out. RMU Eagles have said, okay, Sejuani and J4, don't give them any more engaged. Don't give them that opportunity to make it happen. Interestingly enough, we didn't get a touch on it. The Heimerdinger was taken off the table, and Olaf as well. So another way to break the CC chain. Virginia Tech just going all in with that aggressive nature.
Yeah, no, Olaf being the basically other top tier jungler right now, such a good early duelist, and having, you know, the slows coming out from his axe and the amount of healing that he gets, it's really good into things that have hard CC. RMU just keep piling on with the hard CC. Alistar going to be locked in, so that's most likely the Pantheon going okay.
Ooh.
So that okay, this is an interesting pick, and if they lock it in, okay. So the Orin Gangplank matchup is somewhat really volatile in a sense that even though you can just poke at the Orin's base damage is just so damn high that the Gangplank can essentially just get one shot if the Pantheon roams up or the Gragas just ganks. So right now, Virginia Tech has a really strong late game team comp, and the LeBlanc being there is kind of a transitional carry for them. But right now, that Gangplank and Zaya is super strong, and Virginia Tech is kind of just looking to get towards that late game.
All right, well, we'll have to see if they can pull it off again, picking up pretty much all melee squad here for the RMU Eagles. Orin in the top side and then Pantheon in that mid lane, but we'll have to see how they pull it off on the other side. Virginia Tech have, as you stated, have a very nice transitional towards the mid to late game. LeBlanc kind of filling in that role for them, but we'll have to see how it works for them and see if we can make it happen. I am extremely curious though, because Orin is something that we've only seen hit on recently. I want to say in the past about 2 patches, he's really started to spring back up as a primary top lane, both blind pick and counter pick, with how much they've somewhat altered his ability to upgrade items.
Yeah, and I mean, with the base damages going up with him, you just start to see him more and more. People have started to realize that even though they took away the shield from his W, it doesn't really matter because you just clap people and it really doesn't matter. The amount of engage that you have coming from the Orin that can be followed up by the Pantheon, the Gragas, you have so much catch potential now just because that Orin is there. It becomes really difficult. Yes, the Zaya does have Featherstorm. Yes, the Olaf does have Ragnarok. But if you catch that LeBlanc, she dies instantly. If you catch the Gangplank, yes, he can orange, but you have so much CC to follow up that he most likely dies almost instantaneously. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see the full crit GP build, and he goes more towards that Trinity Force Sterix Gauge kind of build, that he just needs to be able to eat up some damage. If not, he's just going to pop instantly. And again, for Virginia Tech, their main focus is to get this LeBlanc and Olaf duo ahead early. If they're not ahead to the point where they can carry the weight of the Gangplank having to scale to level 13 to get those barrels to max level, also waiting for the Zaya to hit 2 items, waiting for different item power spikes, then Virginia Tech's just going to get run over. Robert Morris University has just such a strong transition with the Draven, with the Pantheon, with the Gragas. If RMU doesn't get ahead and doesn't build off of that lead, they just lose once it gets past that, 25, 30 minute.
And as you were pointing out, touched on it a little bit, I do want to ask, with that Draven lock-in, they picked it somewhat blind, I would say. I believe they picked it in the second rotation of picks there. I do want to figure out, is that going to apply pressure from 955 in that jungle side? For Virginia Tech, do you think we're going to see a much heavier bottom lane focus this time around, or do you think we're going to see them left to their own device and see, maybe Learning Brain and 955 focus on the top lane or mid lane?
I mean, right now, for RMU, bot lane kind of just auto wins. The Leona goes in, but the Alistar just knocks away. So there's not much Virginia Tech can do in this bot side, which is why the Alistar is such a good pick here. Draven just does ridiculous amounts of base damage. So for Learning Brain, he should be focusing towards either getting Draven stupid far ahead or getting this Pantheon ahead. Pantheon is one of the only characters here that can just block so much damage coming out from Virginia Tech because of his E. Plus, he has point and click CC. He has to be the one to get ahead. If not, this Draven has to get ahead and just steamroll over everyone.
I am excited to see how they can pull it off. But again, last little point here, I do want to get very slight point. Actually, we will be going to an ad read here just real quick to talk about some of our great sponsors and some of our amazing people that help us out and make our production that much better and really help us out here. So I do want to talk about Kono keyboards. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, it all starts with your peripherals. Again, Kono have provided and constantly provide great equipment, from your keyboards to keycaps, mice, and more. They have you covered. They work with some of the best designers, inventors, and makers to bring you some of these great peripherals. So if you're interested in getting some new peripherals, upgrade your game a little bit, check out Kono. That is KONO.store. Again, KONO.store. We'll be right back with you guys with game number 1 between Robert Morris University Eagles versus Virginia Tech. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Twist of the knife, a turn of the screws, it's all in your mind, and it's fighting you on yourself. The storm is coming. Wow, kid, what you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta come to the monster. Playing with matches, come out of the ashes underneath you. A million voices in the crowd, they're screaming, stop now. Well, let them swallow the pride, you're turning the tide to true believers. Got them in the palm of your hand, you're playing God now. What you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly like Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 1 between Robert Morris University Eagles and Virginia Tech. Both these teams did take down Titans on the Rift in their week 1. So again, we'll have to see how they perform against each other coming up in this series here. This might be a preview to some great clashes in the playoffs, but and both these teams steading up here on the top side. We do have Turb in that top lane, Learning Brain in that jungle side, but can't even talk about the rosters right now because we have a little bit of a scuffle in the jungle.
I don't know, they're just trying to get those early wards, and I mean it's the stereotypical wards that we do see play. But the thing that we, failed to talk about our pre-game, right, is the fact that Virginia Tech beat the reigning collegiate runners up in West Ontario. Right? They're the team that took, the powerhouse Maryville to 5 games. So Virginia Tech is really no slouch here. We kind of look at it and it's like, oh, it's UPL, they're collegiate teams, this is that. The thing is, Virginia Tech has been dominant. And that's not to say that Robert Morris hasn't been dominant either. They also have been, towards that upper echelon of the collegiate play regardless. So to see both of them play here in the regular season is kind of a treat for us, that most of the time we would see this in maybe collegiate playoffs, maybe in CSL, stuff like that. But I mean, we just get this in UPL, so God bless.
And we're excited to see what they can bring to the table. Again, 2 very aggressive comps to start off this series, so we'll have to see if they can make it work, see if they are able to produce results here and really get that early game lead, as both compositions do require them. Ooh, big trade in that mid lane.
No, and I mean, I was gonna talk about it. The fact that the Pantheon here is running Hail and Blade, which I really found interesting, and you kind of saw why it was so effective. Being able to trade, forcing the LeBlanc to use 2 corruption pots here. Olaf chilling in the bush here, gonna come in for a gank, just gonna push him out of lane, trying to be a little bit of a bully. And this is kind of the early game aggressive clear coming out from Olaf. Does clear his entire bot side, which we usually don't see too much of anymore, seeing as though blue side EX is just kind of worthless. But, able to get the full clear. Leona does go in here, though, trying to get the trade off.
Yeah, but big trade going back onto Space Maker. So I would say support for support. They come out a little bit on top for Virginia Tech, burning those potions off a little bit early. But again, yeah, you were talking about it, the Olaf having an earlier clear. I believe he's the fastest jungle clear currently, without having to go back for items or anything of the sort. So he's feeling extremely good about himself. But you do have to look at it overall. The first early move was made by 955, so Virginia Tech already trying to take that aggressive stance in this matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, he will lose Buttle Crab here. Gragas does do the standard clear, which is 3 camps on red side into the blue buff with Buttle Crab. Olaf is trying to look. Not gonna find him. He spotted on the wards. This is. Whew. We're just seeing the power of the Orin. His trades are just so good.
He really is, and you can already see, because 955 did walk over those wards, the RMU did decide to go ahead, ward up the jungle, get a little bit of early vision as well, so tracking Olaf will be the key point here. They understand that. Nice knock-up as well, but this does mean that an incoming fight. Turb does dodge out the 1 axe and the flash forward as well. Gets the auto attack, might land 1 more, and that is it. First blood going over to 955, but on the bottom lane we see another fight breaking out. Space Maker taking all of the feathers, but he is going to be all right. Burn a little health potion there and walk right back out. So advantage to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, no, and I mean, great early gank. Turb trying to get the dodges. But I mean, there's just not much that there. In that situation, you're pushed up way too far without vision. Smart thing from 5 here was to take that sweeper, get rid of any vision at the top side. Just go for the E. He is going to be going the warrior build, so it's most likely going to be the black cleaver afterwards into maybe Scarix Gauge, depending on if he do snowball here. But Gragas, Learning Brain coming down, trying to get the invade off 5, trying to get some information. Not going to be able to. Other than the fact that 9-5 is towards the bot lane, kind of.
Yeah, it did look like he was trying to steal a camp away after that top lane gank, but was unable to. The 995 able to save his jungle as best he can. Unfortunately, Air Drake is up on the field for the first dragon, so not going to be as much fighting over the global objectives as much as we wish, but again, early fighting overall, and just I like the aggression coming out in these small plays. I feel Virginia Tech do need to make a lot more though. Due to the fact that we are looking down the line, we're already seeing multiple CS leads coming out for the RMU Eagles. I believe that is 4 in the top side, 4 to 8. In that mid lane, already 10 CS difference, and in the bottom lane, 10 CS difference. So, you know, even though 955 has been aggressive, we do need to see a little bit more out of them if we want to see them really take over this early game.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, like we said, the Draven lane just kind of auto wins against the Xayah, which is to be expected. But the issue is for RMU, it's the fact that the Draven just doesn't compare to the Xayah once you hit that late game turning point. Just have so much damage coming out of the fence. Have the invulnerability, counteract the Orin, the Gragas, the Pantheon, Alistar. So as long as Fong knows what he is doing with that Featherstorm, there isn't really much here that RMU can do once Xayah hits that late game.
We do see Learning Brain again saying thank you very much. This is our side now. They really do want to get this dragon down, and honestly, an Air Drake would benefit them quite a bit, or benefit either team, just due to the passive move speed that they would get, able to rotate their members as quickly as possible. You know, in opening Koskinen up into the possible Grand Starfall as often as possible. Easy take for them though. So first dragon off the table to RMU Eagles.
Yep, and it's kind of an easy Drake to get when both your mid and top lane just have so much pressure. Gragas being able just to blow by himself, do the dragon. As long as he has pressure coming from his bot side and his mid lane, it doesn't really matter. And this is what RMU is designed to do here. You want to be looking towards those early objectives. You want to be getting as much turret platings as possible. You want to be invading, stealing away camps from the Olaf, because this is basically the only point in the game where you have complete and utter control.
You see a fight on that bottom side. Ooh, Mirjeri actually gets hooked under the tower. He has to flash away, but the Featherstorm is there. They pick it up. Fong Francis claiming that kill. There goes the ultimate from GP, and they flash forward as well as stun on the Space Maker. He doesn't have that ultimate just yet. One more is going to do it. Smite Infinity claims that, and a 2-for-0 in the bottom lane, crucially shutting down the scaling of Draven, not letting him get that extra gold.
Yeah, good predict flash coming out from Fong here. This is just going to be the Ragnarok. He's going to love it.
Yeah, he is, but he did do it by taking quite a bit of damage right there, so a nice trade. Koskinen able to force out 955 and even up the jungle once again.
But either way, going back towards bot lane, good predict flash Featherstorm there coming out from Fong. Does get the C and carry there. Not much that he can do. That's coming out. Oh, hello.
Oh, good flash coming out from Phantom Brick, and he actually skirts danger as best he can. Learning Brain is out, actually. One more auto is going to do it, though, and Turb taking a massive hit, goes down to just below 100 HP. We now see Ace looking for that kill. Wants to try and clean it up here as best he can. Uses the Mirage, and there it is. Mimic does go down. Ignite claims the kill. So a 1-for-1. Not bad by Phantom Brick to hold his own in that top lane.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going well for Virginia Tech overall here. That they need to continue to shut down anything that RMU wants behind you. RMU does spike really heavily once one item comes through, whereas for the side of Virginia Tech, they don't have it that much.
Oh, that was such a great play, though. Smite Infinity is going to get the lockdown, but they do have to run out as the Grand Skyfall is there, and there is the flash onto Fong Francis. He's going to go down as well. Koskinen picking that one up for himself. A solid trade there, and you saw the immediate transition. Great play coming out of RMU Eagles, but that does mean mid lane going to be under fire. Nice Ragnarok under the tower as well. Oh, the Zayas is there, has to flash out. That's going to stuff the engage there. Ace dashing out of tower range. So, RMU Eagles looking to try and aggress back. And fortunately, Virginia Tech tried to make a play under the tower, was not able to pull it off, burning multiple summoner spells for that.
Yep. That hurt. It will just. But regardless, great transition there coming out from the Pantheon. Able to get a kill bot lane. And kind of set Fong back in his place. Mind you, he is still down roughly 30 CS. So even though he got the kill, that's great and all. Draven still has yet to cash in. But, I mean, being down this much CS is just terrible at this point. Rift Herald is started up. 5-5 does have vision of it.
Yeah, they do see it, but it's already down to about 3,000, so they easily claim that Rift Herald. Virginia Tech not on point to really claim that one, and so they are on the back foot. We'll have to see how that Rift Herald is used. Again, that can collect at least 3 plates, I believe, off of any tower they so choose. If they do choose to drop it bottom lane, that would be a huge pickup for RMU Eagles.
Yeah, and at this point, you just need to push out your air Drake, going to reestablish the bot lane. Start to push the wave. The Pantheon should just be able to get a free back. I'm gonna try to make a play towards bot lane. I think the better tech would have been just to take the recall there and just prepare for the dragon, but instead they are going as the 3-man warding squad, which we have started to see more and more as agency. So as the 3-man squad clear out the vision, the Drake is going to be started up here.
Ooh.
I don't really know if they can contest here. Teleport coming out.
Yeah, this could be big. Ultimate has already been dropped from GP, so they are going to claim this dragon. It looks like just a little bit more to go. There it is. They do claim the dragon, and they're going to walk away with their prize after losing a couple tower plays on the top side. But we do have to see if that is going to be the death of them. There it is. Dropping the Rift Herald right in front. Gonna claim a couple more tower plates in that mid lane as well, and even up the gold. Hopefully, even it up to within 1,000 gold once again.
Well, they're just going to take the first tower here. There's nothing really that Virginia Tech can do. And this is what you want to see if you are RMU. You want this early aggression towards the objectives. Have the Pantheon that auto pushes. Have the Draven that auto pushes. You have the Orin that will sacrifice maybe close to 7 to 10 CS just to make sure that his team secures the objective. By and by, he still gains more by having that teleport go into the dragon pit, getting the dragon and getting that tower, rather than just sitting up there and continuing to get poked by Phantom Brick.
Yeah, and that was a solid reach around as well to try and hold it off, but ooh, nice fight in that mid lane. Koskinen going into the shield form, gonna be blocking a lot of that damage, but gets rooted as well. Nice trades overall, and ooh, nice spear back. So again, mid laners trading blow for blow, but here we go, 955 running in with the Ragnarok in that bottom lane. Mergeri not able to hold it off, has to burn the flash and the heal, but that's not gonna be enough either. Spacemaker hiding under the tower as a sneaky lane gank claims another kill for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and that's the issue with the Draven lane. There's not much you can do to get C. This is most likely just going to be the tower falling again, and Virginia Tech still claiming goal here. Isn't really much that RMU can do here. Now down 7K, 15 minutes in. Not where you want to be when you have such an early aggressive pump. Draven now hitting that first item, so his axe is going to hurt like hell. You also have the Pantheon and the Gragas sitting at one item. You also have Phantom Brick in the top lane. Farming pretty well here, though he does have pressure in the top lane. Does get the double barrel, so that will save the tower.
And we're starting to see a little bit of a macro game style coming out of RMU, even though they picked a highly aggressive early game, with coasting and in that mid lane on the Pantheon. We're seeing a lot more attention, right, to the global objectives. They focus more on the dragons. They focus more on giving up individual lane pressure and CS advantages, right? Or they have CS advantages, but they focus more on keeping the global objectives towards their own. They collected both the dragons. They collected the Rift Herald, an early Rift Herald, I might add, at only 11 minutes and 20 seconds, which is vastly early, and really holding their own there. I'm interested to see how well their late game transition will go and if they can maintain that as well.
Well, I mean, the thing is, for RMU, they need to have that early game, especially with the team composition, as they secure the kind of. But again, for RMU, they need that early game aggression. They need getting that Rift Herald, getting those turret plating. That if they played the bot lane plays a little bit cleaner than what they did, in the past couple of minutes, then this gold lead would be pretty large for them. They got the 3 plates mid, 1 plate top, 3 plates bot lane. So they did get quite a bit of gold, whereas for the side of Virginia Tech, most of their gold right now is coming from kills and a bit of a CS discrepancy in that jungle. So for the side of RMU, though the game was played pretty poorly in that early game, they still have a chance to take hold of this game as long as they can take advantage of the fact that they're at 1 item and they have their power spike now.
Oh, here we go. A nice follow over on Ace, and Ace tries to dash away, uses the double distortion, able to keep himself alive, but a nice attempt coming out from the side of RMU Eagles. But we see a nice little push gank here. Not going to be allowed to progress, though, as the Dragon is coming up as well. This is going to be another Air Drake. So double Air Drake for the side of RMU Eagles if Virginia Tech decide not to contest.
Yeah, no, again, the team fight coming out here is still kind of risky for the side of Virginia Tech. Even though they're ahead quite a bit here, fighting RMU right now is just not the play here. You just can Dragon and try to get a pick here. It's going to be the only one coming out here.
Yeah, Ragnarok has been burned, and this might be the team fight. A nice explosive cast splits the side of Virginia Tech, but that is a follow-up as well. Health bars are all going low. Nice whirling axes goes out, but look at the health bars of RMU Eagles. They are burning down as Virginia Tech are on the chase. Big damage coming out. One more shot takes down Space Maker. And 955 is looking for that final little kill on Koskinen and Learning Brain. Learning Brain barely dodges the axe, and that's going to be the spear. The Pantheon is going to claim that kill in return, but still losing 1 for 3 and claiming a dragon. Maybe not exactly what RMU wanted.
And right now, RMU's team composition kind of just falling apart. They need the Orin to be able to absorb more damage, but he's just not able. Alistar, being the pseudo tank that he is just not as tanky where RMU. Top of the fact that the Call of the Forge God was used onto 955, and he just pressed R. He did not care at all, and he did what the Olaf is supposed to do. He went and disrupted the backline and forced RMU into a fight that they really didn't want to take. The Call of the Forge God and the explosive cask was more there to disengage from that. But instead, Ragnarok just stalls the fight out even longer and allows for Virginia Tech to just kind of run over whatever RMU wants.
Yeah, and the worst part of it all is, again, the few points that you pointed out, pointing out that Merge Area on this Draven needs to get ahead, really needs to come online as quickly as possible. He's 0-3-1. He has been shut down consistently. And I think that's something Virginia Tech have really focused on. If you notice, they constantly go for him. They constantly look for him, no matter what. all their focus has been on him. Make sure he doesn't get ahead. He's currently trying to build towards that Bloodthirster, I believe, or not Death Stance. Sorry, it is Death Stance. I'm so sorry. I believe that's going to be a second item or Bloodthirster, one or the other, but he is so far behind in his item building. I'm not sure even a cash-in would be able to get him on the same level as Fong Francis.
Right now, there's literally no way that Jerry can come close to what Fong can do. The only way that the Draven does anything is by getting ahead, using that base damage in lane. Bully. And the thing is, we do see that he bullied. Look at the CS league, and we see such a difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter, just due to the fact that Zaya is such a good team fighter, can bait out so many different abilities that Draven just can't compare. Yes, he does stupid amounts of damage. Let's not look past that. But it's the fact that it just does not matter.
That's going to be a possible catch here, as well as Koskinen again gets rooted down, but they can't follow up as Learning Brain is here. And I do want to talk about this because Learning Brain, even though his team has been able to control the objectives, it seems his lane pressure has been less than stellar when compared to 955 here.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I don't really think it's more one jungler versus yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the facts straight. 955 did have good plays, right? He did get the correct gank into the top lane with his pathing. He did make the good lane gank through bot lane. But Learning Brain hasn't really had many opportunities to show what he can do. He's gotten 4 objectives if you count the Rift Herald, right? So he's doing his job, but it's the fact that goodbye. Just see you. Right. Stop face checking. Like, bye-bye.
That
can
just feels bad moment. I just have to say that. As a mid laner, I loved it. As an ADC, that just feels bad.
Yeah,
but
he's dead too.
Yeah, here we go. Space Maker not allowed to play the game either, as they just hard collapse on him and take the early kill. So the bottom lane of RMU Eagles again punished for the early game, picked off in the mid to late game. This could be a possible Baron.
Yeah, no. And I mean, they can just bait here. Maybe the chain of crew. They might just go in here, yeah.
Oh, and the flash follow-up as Smite Infinity says, we will take you off the map as well. Call of the Forge God is going to be next to useless as it... Oh, actually hits Fong Francis as well. So a little bit of good damage, but again, this Baron going to be rolled down. Oh, Grand Skyfall is actually being looked at as well. They are fairly low. This could be the turnaround RMU Eagles are looking for. He's looking for it down to about 3,000 health. Here it comes. In goes the Grand Skyfall. They're looking. One more. He does not claim it as Baron does go down, but the health bars are super low. In goes the Featherstorm as well. Recall has been made. But Ornn, look at his tanking damage. They claim the kill as well. And Spacemaker had enough time to come back and have a little bit of an assist. Baron goes over to Virginia Tech, but 2 kills are taken by RMU.
Yeah, no. I mean, this isn't the worst for Virginia Tech. You escape with 3 Barons alive on you, and you take it off the map. You're going to trade a dragon for it. And I mean, if you're Robert Morris, this is also pretty good for you. The Draven now has the upgraded IE. He's working towards the BT. Have this Pantheon that's super strong right now. Basically, your only hope is that the Pantheon can just hopefully eat up enough damage and CC people to the point where Draven can just sit in the back and throw an axe and hope to God that he does 1,000 damage with that spinning axe.
Well, at this point, I will have to say that Draven is fully online because as every person that's played against the Draven hates, he got 1 kill and is now even with Fong Francis in terms of gold, in terms of items. And with that upgraded item as well, he is going to be feeling extremely confident moving into this late game area, especially with 3 air drakes as well. His move speed is going to be off the charts.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, here's the thing. If it was other dragons, maybe if it was Infernal Dragons for RMU, this would be a good situation. But right now they're still in just such terrible position. 5k gold down. They're most likely going to lose this bot tower because they're just out rotated here, and it's going to go down here within either the next week or two.
Oh, a nice stand aside right there. Coming out of Mergeri actually catches Ace off on the side, but here we go. Grand Skyfall actually going all the way in. Featherstorm has been pulled as well. Teleports are coming as well, but look at the backlight. Ace is looking for Mergeri. Big explosive cast is able to claim the kill. He does pick it up. Mergeri is able to claim his second kill of the game. Smite Infinity tries to throw out the Xenoblade, not going to be able to get it, but in goes the headbutt pulverize. They're going to follow it up once again. The reactivation of the team fight is there, and they claim 3-0. You said that they were so far behind. They said we're going to prove Sordo wrong as they claim multiple kills. They claim what they need and are going to push down that bottom lane.
I mean, they're trying to just regain what they had. Oh, goodbye. Pop.
Oh, that felt bad right there. Here we go. Another one. Ace is going to be taken down as well, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade and automatically going to shut down that fight. But still, 2 kills picked up by Mergeri means he is now catapulted into the top gold totals right now. He's going to feel great about what just happened.
And I mean, right now, the game is still kind of unstable. A lot of the gold lead right now for the side of Virginia Tech is on this Gangplank, right? Is pretty far ahead in CS, has been able just to farm. He's now level 15, 2 items, going to be ridiculously strong. And as long as Ace can continue to pop the Draven, Virginia Tech really has nothing to worry about. Right now, it's all on Robert Morris to see if they can continue to get picks and try to work down some of these towers.
We're looking at it right now. It looks like he has already upgraded the Cannon Barrage once with the Fire at Will. He has now upgraded to Death's Daughter, which is increased rate of fire over the duration, as well as the Center Bomb, which is going to deal a lot more damage on initial impact. So those Gangplank ultimates, as you stated before, are going to hurt. But we'll have to see if that works as Mergeri and the rest of the RMU squad are looking. Big Axe flies out, lands on one. Call of Forgeout is going to land only on one, though. Bit of big solar flare to answer. Big amounts of damage going down and a Grand Skyfall to match. And they do claim one. Koskinen picking up 1-for-0. Rest of the Virginia Tech squad are not able to collapse here, but look at Ace. He wants to try and get it. In goes a flash. Big double distortion, but doesn't claim anyone. Not able to up as much as you wish, but a very solid attempt. They only lose one.
Yeah, no, so this is really not bad here. Kind of a scuffed engage here coming out from Virginia Tech, trying to go for the big play here. They kind of just need to farm at this point. If you're Virginia Tech, you want this GP to continue to scale, now sitting at 3 items. You want the Olaf to continue to get tankier. I'm surprised he did not go Sterix Gage here, opting into more tank. You're going towards the Dead Man's play. But you more need this Xayah just to hit IE at this point. Ragnarok is popped. 955 is going to be able to get out of there. So that's not that big of a deal. Ragnarok being down right now, not the biggest of deal right now at a 60. So not the worst thing. Bit of a mistake.
Yeah, now it's
gonna go over. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's 5 dragons down, and this Ocean Drake is gonna help quite a bit. I think when it comes to trying to aggress on this Baron, they'll be able to dance a little bit better. You do see the rest of Virginia Tech looking to set up ward coverage, and we weren't able to talk about it a whole lot, but the ward battle has been immense. We see the entire bottom side in favor of RMU, and on the top side we do see the wards in favor of Virginia Tech, so we'll have to see how that plays out for them. Spear goes a little bit wide. The Baron has been alive, and there we go. Nice headbutt, but misses the combo there. So Spacemaker trying his best to make a play, not finding any purchase.
I mean, right now, the next play is that big worm. Virginia Tech does need to push out their waves. That top wave can be pushing towards them. Bot wave is not in the best situation. Will be pushing away from them, though. They do have the mid lane priority. They will be trying to establish lane. 5-man goon squad coming out from RMU is there as well. The poke out. Right now, it's just a battle for vision. And the thing is, Virginia Tech is more than happy just to chill out here. Bot lane is pushing into them, though, so they don't have that much time here before they lose priority. Mid lane is already being pushed in. Solar Flare missed, though.
Yeah, they are a little bit close off here, but this could be a big fight that they want. A nice knock into Smite Infinity. He goes automatically down, and that's going to be a kill again for Jerry. Nice little route there. Ace trying to look for the right wrap around flank, not able to pick it up, and that's going to be a big pickup and a big macro game rotation as RMU are just going to say, okay, you guys are at Baron. We'll take your base.
I know. I mean, this was kind of a huge throw here coming out from Virginia Tech, and this is just poor execution coming out from them. Not their team comp, it's nothing like that. They did not control their waves well enough, and they didn't pull the trigger where they needed to. 955 in a terrible position. Does have Ragnarok. He's just going to go in.
Yeah, he is.
Holy.
Broloff said going ham, and RMU said no you. Immediately blown up in the midst, and he even lost his flash for that, which I think is not exactly worth. I feel like he should have tried to keep the flash for the next engage, but I guess you could say an okay attempt.
No, definitely not the worst.
We're trying to play it off like way better than it was.
Yeah,
but,
no, dude, that was really giga grief. Like, I don't really know. Like, he saw that Jerry was at 20% HP, but I don't think he really expected the fact that Jerry still had heal after all that, and the fact that he has BT. Like, there's just no way that you're gonna kill him.
I would have to agree, and this now means that he doesn't have flash to try and get in the pit. He doesn't have anything to really try and steal this Baron away. The rest of the team is collapsing. Ace trying to get some vision. Nice double distort, but doesn't make it. He is able to get away, but look at that damage going down. Ace might go down. No, Whirling Death doesn't find anyone. Solar Flare lands on one. They're trying to go in and follow at the side. Call of the Forge God is there. Doesn't land on too many, but oh no! The ADC from the backline, Fong Francis, does go down automatically. The rest of the team is trying their best, but look at the health bars burning on the ground. No, Ace tries to make a play, but is going to go down as well. All of the Zanyas have been burned, but there it is. Phantom Brick says, thank you very much. I will help clean up for my team. Headbutt only delays the inevitable. GA is going to be popped. Look at the axes going up. Jerry says, this is now my game, not GP's. Stand aside does clip Phantom Brick. And with that, RMU has secured the fight in what seemed like 3 turnabout moments. They come out 4-2 in favor and might look for the Baron.
Well, I mean, it's just a free Baron here. Olaf is still alive, though. You don't have a jungler. Might not actually be that free.
Might not be as free. The blasting plant is there for Olaf if he does attempt, but here comes a teleport in as well. You see Olaf looking for it. He wants to dance it. It's down to about 3k, down to about 1.5. He does go in. Ragnarok is there, but he gets blown up as well. Losing the armor and magic resist immediately means he gets chunked out by the axes, and that's going to be 5 dragons plus a Baron and possible Elder Dragon as well. RMU look completely online.
Yeah, no, RMU now has the potential just to take the next fight, and this Pantheon is just so strong. 4 items, just eating so much damage. The Draven is being able to sit in the back, and this is the power. Oh, no.
Oh, nice Hextech Flash does catch one, and in comes the Grand Skyfall as well. That's going to be the bottom lane of Virginia Tech getting the equal treatment this time. Karma coming back to say thank you very much. They claim the Elder Drake. They claim, I believe actually that was their 6th dragon of the game, a very rare 6 dragons. So not Elder Dragon, that was another Ocean Drake, but 6 dragons strong, barreling down this mid lane. RMU saying, we took the global objectives, you now pay for it.
You know, and here's the thing. The fact, oh wait, they might just go for the end.
You say they might. They say they will. A nice explosive cast knocks Phantom Brick aside, but Ragnarok has been popped as well. He's trying his best, and Koskinen actually might go down here, but that doesn't matter as the inhibitors or the Nexus Towers have been taken down, and Mergeri is going to finish it off. Game number 1 going to RMU Eagles.
Yeah, no, this game was so risky for the side of RMU that they built a composition, right, that had really only one sole DPSer, constant DPS, which is that Draven. So to me, RMU picked a very risky composition, right? But in total, Virginia Tech just threw this game. They had so many opportunities just to sit there and farm, and they're just like, nah, fam, I'm good. And it just made zero sense. The thing is that Draven wasn't that far ahead of the Xayah for the entirety of the game. But then you look at the end of the game, she's down 4k gold, and it's solely because she just decided to stop farming, to keep trying to fight, where Virginia Tech just needed to give away some of their objectives and continue to scale up and wait for that late game to come through.
I do have to agree with that because if we look at the damage class, looking at it overall, 32.6 thousand damage coming out of the GP this time around, really putting in that work. But looking at the rest of it, the next closest was actually the Draven at 23.8k. So I mean, as you stated, honestly, Virginia Tech did have that lead, and looking forward, where do you think they have to go next to really bring it back in this series?
I don't know. For Virginia, they need to be able to control that early game. They got completely ran in the early game. Even though a gold lead was going towards them, they found the early kills. They weren't able to snowball those kills. RMU was still able to find all the objectives, to get the turret plates, to get everything, and eventually just get far enough to where the Draven axes were just doing so much damage. The Orin was able to upgrade every single person's items, and it just made the game impossible for Virginia Tech to come close to winning.
All right, well, we'll have to see if they can make it work. We'll be getting into game number 2 here shortly to see if RMU Eagles are able to take the series in a 2-0, and if Koskinen will be able to make another clean game. He went 7-0-9 in that first game, or if Virginia Tech will be able to bring it back. We'll have to see. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
knows you cover your wounds, but underneath them, a million voices in your head that whisper, stop now. Another twist of the knife, a turn of the screws, it's all in your mind, and it's fighting you on yourself. The storm is coming. Wow, kid, what you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. And now you're playing with matches, come out of the ashes underneath you. A million voices in the crowd, they're screaming, stop now. Well, let them swallow the pride, you're turning the tide to true believers. Got them in the palm of your hand, you're playing God now. What you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. What you gonna do So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 between Virginia Tech and RMU Eagles. We have a barn burner of a series considering how game number 1 was so back and forth. Virginia Tech coming out to a strong lead in the early game, but RMU bringing it back due to some excellent team fighting and some costly mistakes from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the game, right? Even though you do want to give credit to RMU, right? That they did hold out, they were able to find the picks. A lot of this game was on Virginia Tech and their inability to decide what they wanted to do, especially towards that Baron. That basically just threw them the game. You know, NA Barons, right? We love that. Dude, listen, we've seen so many different plays coming from play-in stage, right? In Worlds. We saw the Giga Brain bait coming out from Hong Kong where they started the Baron, they hit the ward and then pulled off of it and clean ace. Like, we just love NA Barons because they are just so coin flip. And I mean, that's kind of what we saw in last game. We saw the fact that Virginia Tech, you know, they established their waves, they established vision, but then were too hesitant to go. And it's partially due to the fact that their composition does not have a secondary go button. They just have that solar flare, and that's about it. So the solar flare misses, and you're like, well, I guess just go. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of going, we're going to go into this second game pick and ban. Kiana, yet again, going to be banned out from Virginia. Tech. Waiting on Robert Morris. Let's see if they change up their bans a little. Nope.
Not at all. Again, and I do want to point out that yes, it was some of those go button issues, but I think it was a very good go button. If the Solar Flare lands on 2, then it's great. But Virginia Tech actually banned away the Pantheon, and the Draven. So 2 picks from last game are open. Pantheon is taken away in terms of the, I believe, the Elise and the Heimerdinger. So yep. Virginia Tech leaving Elise and Heimerdinger open for RMU to possibly take. And Renekton banned away.
Yep.
So multiple picks and bans here open from last game. I do like this change up here.
Yep, and this is smart from RMU to ban either the Renekton or the Elise here, because you're just going to pick one or the other, right? So now Virginia Tech going to go with the Elise. I'm still surprised that RMU does not want to select Kate Morgana here, and if Virginia Tech doesn't select it either, I'm still confused here as to why you don't just pick Kate Morgana here. That it just counters everything that RMU wants to do.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they decide to. But RMU now picking up the top end jungle that Virginia Tech tried to make work last time. They're going to be kind of saying, we'll run it back, except Gragas, obviously, RMU picked up last time. But the top lane is a flip of the players instead of flip of the characters. This is going to be Phantom Brick on the Gangplank. This is going to be Turb on the Gangplank and Phantom Brick on the Ornn this time around. Going to be interesting to see who wins this matchup. And it's kind of like a top laner saying, hey, we're going to try it this time, and, I'm going to show you how it's actually played.
Hit you with the anything you can do, I can do better. I mean,
very much so.
The thing is, for Virginia Tech, I like this pickup more than I did last game, just due to the fact that now you have 2 go buttons. You have the Ornn engage, you have the Leona engage. The only issue is now you need a really powerful ADC. You need something like the Caitlyn, maybe the Kai'Sa even, just to round out your team composition. You already have really strong scaling with RMU here. You have the Gangplank, you have the Xayah, but you need something powerful to back you up if you are Virginia Tech. And the only way that you can do that is a powerful ADC, maybe even a powerful scaling mid laner. Maybe you still have the Syndra available. Azir is still a thing. You still have Sylas, Cassio, which does a lot into RMU here. So you have a lot of options for Virginia Tech, but RMU does get the first selection here, and they're just going to go with the Thresh. They're hovering the boy. It's a good lock-in versus the Leona. Syndra, however, is also a very good lock-in against the Leona.
Yeah, it's a nice little say, and that is going to stop most of Virginia Tech's possible engaged champions here. And as you stated, they do need some sort of long-range, possibly a high-powered late-game damage dealer from the mid lane. I would almost want to throw up for Virginia Tech is a possible Sivir pick with the speed up, with the late game scaling, as you stated before. That is a possibility, but Zed picked up. All right.
Yikes. Yikers. Run. I don't okay, I'm going to check. It's not a mistake. It's a Zed. I'm going to wait for their next pick to say anything. It's going to be... Okay. Solution. Interesting. This is... and they still get the Thresh. Okay, this is very interesting coming out from Virginia Tech. This composition is a yikes. You have a lot of go buttons here with the Elise Cocoon, the Ornn, Call of the Forge God, the Solar Flare. But the thing is, you needed that late game scaling ADC, and Lucian is just not it. Xayah just leaps and bounds better than Lucian here. And then you have the Zed. And the issue with the Zed is that RMU have a Xayah. Like, any other ADC, fine. Zed, fine. If he gets ahead, just clap some cheeks. But it makes no sense here for Virginia Tech to pick a Zed into a Xayah when she can just press R And then what's a Zed ult? Yeah, you might be able to kill the Gangplank. Yeah, you might be able to kill the Syndra, but Syndra's gonna get Zanya's. Gragas is gonna get Zanya's. Gangplank is Gangplank. He's gonna get Sterk's Gauge. So it doesn't make much sense to pick a Zed. Yes, you want to be flashy. Yes, you want to do so much, but it logically does not make sense to pick a Zed here. You needed a hyper carry, something like the Azir, maybe the Zoe Eve you could have gotten away with. Cassiopeia here, but definitely not a Zed. And this is where Virginia Tech is basically saying, we're just going to stat check you. We don't care. We're playing our game. And it's a very risky game that they're playing.
I would agree. And the only possible idea that I could come down to is Virginia Tech are saying, we're going to go to like comfort. That's what we want here. Throwing up the Lucian, throwing up the Zed. Both of these are more focused on the early game to mid game. Again, Zed in the late game can make some plays and just baiting out ultimates due to the low cooldown once you have 40%, 30 to 40% CDR. But looking at it overall, I would say that they're doubling down on winning that early game, right? Because we did point it out. Virginia Tech did have some nice early game plays. They were ruling the early game for much of the time. High kill count, high turret takes as well. But they gave up a lot of those global objectives. So I can see them, this is almost like a last ditch attempt, saying, here's the thing, we can try and win the early game as best we can again and just roll with it, right? That is their one and only saving grace, but as you stated before, it is a very, very scary choice to make in a game to a possible series ending game.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, right, if Virginia Tech gets rolling, they'll roll this game. Like, no question about it. They will roll this game. Zed is one of those champions that, okay, you may have the Xayah, it doesn't matter. I can still run over the Syndra, run over the Gangplank, run over the Gragas before you kill me. The only issue that I foresee is that they don't have that early game dominance. That we saw last game, they were able to get the kills, but they weren't able to get the objectives. And they just fell short every time. And the thing is, this time RMU has a composition that will slap you back down to earth when they hit 2 items. And if they can get these objectives here and there, like they did last game, it's going to be harder to stop them this game than it was last game. And, it's just so difficult to say that Virginia Tech can have, a good early game here in comparison to what happened last game.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can pull it off, if Virginia Tech is able to clutch out a win with a composition that we on paper say might not be the best, but we will have to see what they can do. We do have a quick little blurb about one of our other great sponsors, Midwest Esports. Midwest Esports has we're actually going to be talking about Sector 6 right now. Sector 6 Apparel is a leading esports apparel company providing on-demand printing for groups of all sizes. Sector 6 Apparel designs comfortable and stylish clothing for professional esports organizations and collegiate programs, as well as your very own Upsurge Esports. If you want premium esports clothing and would like to support us at the same time, head over to Sector 6 Apparel at sector6apparel.com/collections/Upsurge Esports. And that's sector6apparel.com/collections/Upsurge Esports. Check out Sector 6 Apparel today and rep Upsurge Esports or your favorite team in style today. Again, a little bit of a long one there, but thank you so much for staying with us. We will be going straight to a break, but we will be right back with game number 2 between Virginia Tech and RMU Eagles. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 between Virginia Tech and RMU Eagles. We are getting into the game to see who takes the series, or if we go to a game number 3 and Virginia Tech on their back foot are playing a little bit loose and furious here. A little bit of damage going down between the junglers here, but nothing too crazy just yet.
Yeah, no, nothing bad here. And I mean, right now, it's kind of just a yeah. Ooh, Bong is lucky he messed up, or he would have gotten hooked.
Mhm.
That would have been a yikes. But I don't know. This game is interesting to say the least, because having this Zed is such a wild card. Because maybe Ace just collapse the hell out of this. What do you do there if you're RMU, right?
Mhm.
There's not much that you can do. As long as this Zed stays relatively in control, and same thing with Illusion, right?
Oh. Both
Well,
the support and Koskinen just said, whoa, hi.
jeez.
But you are correct. It's a big toss up, especially since Koskinen actually went 7-0-9 last time. We were talking about if he'd have another standout performance, and they gave him enough pressure. They said, okay, you did well enough last game. We're going to blind pick Syndra for you when they clearly could have had a nice counter pick set up. And I'm surprised the team on red side would actually do that,
And
tossing out a blind or a counter pick opportunity
see,
for a support.
not necessarily, because Syndra is just such a strong and versatile champion, and it's someone that you kind of needed in this composition. Syndra stops the Leona engage, stops the Lucian dash, stops the Orin, which
Mhm.
is just massive for them. The gank here, Cocoon
Yeah.
dodged.
Nice. But
Woo.
this is also the issue here as she does stay away is the fact that she has her laning is actually a lot less than Zed's in the early game. Zed has so many opportunities to really force that tempo in the mid lane. As you can see, an early gank from 955 is going to put pressure down, cut out some of the health, already having to burn double potions. And so it's very difficult to say who is definitively going to come out on top in this mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is that, like, who else could you have picked in this?
Hmm.
Maybe the Azir would have been better instead of the Syndra. Could have gone with a Silas, even. That would have been all right.
Hmm.
But the Syndra is just such a good blind pick in the meta. The only other thing that's really good to blind is the Karma. And see, this is why Syndra is so strong. She's able to just scatter the weak from so far away and avoid the Elise gank. And I mean, right now, she just knows that Elise is going to be setting up that RV camp in that mid lane. There's
Yeah.
no other place that Elise should be going here.
Yeah, it's true. Keeping Zed ahead is definitely going to put Koskinen on the back foot. And if Ace is able to hit level 6 earlier and get some poke down like he is now, that I think is a big telling sign of what's to come in this mid to late game. Nice knock up in that top side. Oh, Turb actually getting taken extremely low. A little bit more damage. Oh, the flash is actually done. Minion block is real. Phantom Brick almost
Oh,
goes down to the possible minion block. He took 2 tower shots. If the minions had, cluttered up that top lane anymore, that would have been first blood. But oh, there it is. Big kill there. And Koskinen burns everything to stay alive. And as we were saying, in early games, that is exactly what you need to put a Syndra on the back foot.
yeah, I mean, both sums are burned. That's just gonna be the flay out of the nothing
Hmm.
really much. Knight
Oh,
comes out.
yeah. Oh, big jump in here. Fong Francis has to
Oh,
flash away. And that's a support flash for an ADC flash. I would say a big win for RMU.
well, yeah, you burn two of Thresh's sums for the flash of Fong. But I mean, overall, that was just a really questionable sequence of events there.
Hmm.
And this is why, again, Thresh does counter the Leona, just able to flay away Leona, not being able to get the is really massive, but does miss the
Oh,
flay here.
yeah,
Able just
miss
to
on the
launch it.
flay, but it doesn't matter as Fong Francis didn't want to step up any further. But they have the pressure in the bottom lane, which, I mean, if it's any game to get bottom lane pressure, it's this one, as we do see the Infernal Drake being the first dragon on the table.
Yeah, it's not like last game where it was all Cloud Drakes into a mountain, into an ocean. So,
Oh, but here we go. This is a big possible kill. Oh!
my
Dodges the
goodness.
shuriken. So Koskinen dodging out on Zed's level 6 power there. So feels okay with himself. But again, being forced out of lane, down now about 15 CS, and doesn't get tagged on the way, but big wave crashing into the tower against him.
Yeah, going to miss out. It is a big feels bad, but at the end of the day, is still doing okay. The fact that he, the fact that Zed hit level just means that he has to continue the wave there. But at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing. You're not picking the Syndra to have this massive amount of dominance, especially
Mhm.
into the head. You're picking her more so that you have pick potential, have, you know, this opportunity just to one shot someone, especially that Lucian. If he steps up in a team fight, he will die almost instantly. So
Mhm.
that's kind of what RMU.
Yeah, and they're
Right.
hoping for that to happen. They're hoping to keep themselves relatively clean here. And like you said, if Koskinen can stay safe, not die, he is going to scale up. And we'll have to take a look because, again, 955, again, had nice early game potentials, wasn't really able to amount to anything. Uh, but, again, the early pressure is needed. But, again, he has not shown much love to that bottom or top lane. He might need to start showing, especially with this dragon on the table. We do see Learning Brain moving his way through that bottom side jungle of the blue side. Gonna hop over and claim those Krugs as best he can. So camps will be traded and gold will be swapped.
Not all too bad for the side of.
Oh, this could be a big tower dive coming down, but they decide
Yeah.
no. This is a better time to actually look towards that Infernal Drake. I do like this play. They stack up the wave. They look for that early Infernal Drake, try and get that global pressure once again. Nice little swap there, hoping to pick it up. And a first brick first plate, sorry, goes over to Phantom Brick. Actually, mid lane had one go down, so that's sorry about that. So that's 2 plates though going over in Virginia Tech. Oh, here we go. A nice jump in. Solar Flare lands onto one, but that's only the support. Here comes the ultimates as well going down. RMU Tech or RMU Eagles on the run. Nice hook lands on one, but the snap on top of the blasting plant. Such a clean job, whether by luck or skill. Mergerry goes down, thinking he was safe. And Virginia Tech say thank you very much. We'll take the first dragon of the game.
Just ult F4, honestly. Like, you just got dumpstered, like, into another realm. Well done there by Phantom Brick. Does cancel the blast plant over, and that's just, my goodness. So that whole thing where we said, oh, you know, we don't know about Virginia Tech's early game. Well, they got the objectives, they got the kills now, but now they need to just run with it. Lucian's ahead, you have the Zed that's really far ahead now. You need to continue to push your advantages. That, again, RMU does scale really well into the mid to late game with that GP, with the Xayah, with the Syndra. So, as long as Virginia Tech doesn't take their foot off the gas here and doesn't allow RMU to breathe here, now that you've built almost a 2k gold lead, you need to just continue to push. So, RMU is trying to clap back here by getting some of these.
Yep, and there it is, a nice dash forward, though does mean Space Maker is going to be hit.
Yep.
A nice little foot only lands on the 2, doesn't get the stun down. So that does mean the feathers are traded. A nice flash collects it. Mergerry says thank you very much. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Zed goes down to the unleashed power. of the Syndra. As you said before, a nice Cocoon lands as well, but that's going to be a trade in that mid lane. Bottom lane, though, going very heavily in favor of Margerian Spacemaker. Mid lane, Koskinen might go down here. A nice stun keeps him alive. So a nice trade overall. Hook as well going out and Smite Infinity, keeping the fight going on that bottom side, getting some good damage. Root goes down. But look at the aggressiveness coming out of both these teams. The Feathers almost claiming that kill, but not going to be enough. And with a furious battle across all the lanes, an overall 2-for-1 in favor of RMU.
Yeah, and I mean, this is pretty bad for Virginia. They do get the pick from Learning Brain there, but now you have the Syndra with a kill. Now you have the Xayah with a kill. And this is where things start to look pretty bad. Now the gold lead down to about 1,000.
Oh my.
Cocoon does hit. Doesn't really matter.
Uh-oh.
He might just...
Oh, this could be so bad, and that's going to be it. The Scatter the Weak catches him, and that was just aggressive for Virginia Tech. You know, we didn't see the mistakes happening until later in the game, in game number 1, but here it seems it's happening in game number 2 almost immediately.
Yeah, got one word to describe that dive. Yikes! You know, the Zed tried to take the damage of the tower, which he did, but it just doesn't matter. The dive just went so horribly. Yes, you get the cleanse out of... Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, if only she... Actually, she does. Koskinen looking towards it right now. Syndra's ultimate is up. He does have the flash as well, so this could be dire, and Ace knows it, so he immediately backs up.
He has to run.
Says, I don't want anything to do. Meanwhile, on that bottom lane, Smite Infinity and the jungle as well. Look at that damage. Learning Brain about to learn today as he goes over and he blocks it. 955 with a solo kill in the jungle. On the bottom lane, though, a nice hook does land. The Zenith Blade does hit, and that's going to be an immediate kill there. Smite Infinity and Fong Francis say, we don't care. We want to win this bottom lane as best as possible. They're going to dive for this kill. He might be able to collect and is able to go into the Zanyas. He might be able to survive, and he does. A clean 2-for-0 on the bottom side, and a clean kill by 955 means they immediately get the gold back, and are now boosted to a 1.5k lead.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia Tech, though they had that little trip up earlier, is still in the lead here. And this is the power of the... You know, you can do this with the Lucian Braum as well, but it's just so strong. You lock up for the Lucian just to get his double up every single time. There's kind of nothing to be done here. This is just going to be a kill.
And we have a pause right in the middle, and we get to see the beauty of a 3Z on the map. I think that's actually one of the cooler things I've ever seen. But again, we see the power of Zed coming out now when he has even the hint of a lead.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter what this Syndra does. She like see in the Shadow Realm, you're gone. Yeah. There's literally a 0% chance here. But
yeah,
I mean,
so scary.
Yeah, this Zed is starting to come online now. So this might be a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah, and I think this is something coming from a mid lane player. This is something that you generally don't want to happen. No matter what, Zeds, any assassins are really going to be the harbinger of death as a Syndra player. You know, even though, yes, you come out with a lot of scaling and a lot of power in the mid to late game, if you're shut out to the extent that it happened in the early game where 955 is constantly ganking your lane, you know, the enemy jungler is always there, it creates problems. All a Zed needs, all a Talon needs, or anything, just needs that little early level advantage, and all of a sudden you're on your back foot, and we saw it. He has 2 kills. Yes, Koskinen is doing quite well, but this is what a Zed can output, and this is what they're hoping for. Ace just deleting Koskinen off the face of the earth every single time, putting him far behind, to the point where even if he is viable and he gets the ult off, he's not going to have the damage available, as we didn't get to hear the pretty explosion. He just goes down, and that's a solo kill for Ace.
Yeah, I mean, this is a yikes right now for RMU. Only down about 2K though. About to be more though. Gonna be plates taken in the mid lane. That's gonna be plates taken in the bot lane. Well, might even be the first tower here. This is just not looking well. 3 people in the bot lane. Still not much that can be done.
Yeah, and actually a little bit of miscommunication as we do see Smite Infinity actually went all the way in, and that's going to be another hook. And immediately, just like that, Jerry is now getting back in the game. Turb actually flashing forward, wanted to get one more kill, trying to help out his team, and there he gets it. Down goes the Cannon Barrage as well, wants to run forward, might get the... Nope, not able to pick it up. Not in range to get the last shot off. But again, as we said before, Virginia Tech, they get that lead, they feel okay, and then immediately, almost instantaneously, throw away the lead.
Yeah, no, I mean, oh no, oh no.
Oh.
Double flash.
Yep. And I mean, in that situation, I think Ace wins that because he doesn't need flash.
I mean, yes and no. Because if the Syndra plays it correctly, she can just stand back, scatter the weak, and that's really all she has. But it's still okay to trade Summoner. She does have Cleanse. So she can cleanse out of the night. Overall, she does need to get that Zonia's quickly, or she's just going to continuously die to this Zed, who is up 30 CS. And this is kind of the same thing that we saw last week.
Yeah, and this time around, it looks like so far Virginia Tech have been able to accelerate this early game. They've been able to collect 2 towers, collected quite a few plates, but here we go. Bottom lane, play being made, teleport coming in as well. So immediately called off. The Ornn coming down on this bottom lane does mean that they might also rotate for that 3rd tower, knock down all the outers as quickly as possible, and be able to hold their own. The dragon was taken on the other side of the rift as well. So 1 dragon to each, but again, Virginia Tech with that all-important Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, both teams are kind of just waiting for their item breakpoints. Zed has hit 2 items, so he is strong. But everyone else on the map is kind of just chilling at this point. Lucian still needs to hit that Black Fever. Gangplank has hit his point with the Trinity Force, but
oh my gosh. Fong Francis, don't do it to him. Smite Infinity, I don't know what you were doing there. You don't have flash, you don't have anything. And again, these are key mistakes being made by Virginia Tech.
The thing is, you just burned the flash, the heal, the ulti coming out from Jerry. So it's not the worst thing. Is it a mistake? Absolutely. But not the worst thing we've ever seen. And, well, you know, I didn't want that anyways.
955 said, sure, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yoink.
Oh, man. But again, this is a pretty... This is a fairly standard matchup. Again, from what we saw, this is almost a repeat of game number 1. So far, Virginia Tech have said thank you, and then they lose it. But here we go. A nice 1v1 on that bottom side means Ace claims that kill, is able to get away just barely from the tower range. So is able to collect another solo kill, and he is definitely starting to come online. 2 items available.
Yeah, no, that's going to be the cocoon, though.
Oh. And again, a nice follow-up. 955 says, thank you very much. We'll take that once again.
These are pretty picks coming out overall. Not that bad here as we look at the gold league. Look, we just see such a difference in the jungle and mid here. And it's kind of testing it.
Yeah, another hook lands onto Smite Infinity. It does land the solo fail, but only gets a slow, so that's going to deter any further aggression. But again, we're starting to see these gold leads expand a little bit. In the top lane, it's fairly even, which honestly, I feel that favors the Ornn. You would hope that a GP has a lot more gold at this point, but still sitting at 6.1. between all of them, but that mid lane, we have to talk about that. Looking right there, as Zed 3-1-1, possibly going to make it 4 as he does get stunned under the tower. Doesn't feel good to take 2 tower shots, but again, 1.5k in his pocket, already working on his 3rd serrated Dirk item. He is going to be so powerful.
And I mean, if you look at everything, the itemization now from is going towards the. He's just going to go triple lethality here. And his goal is basically just to one-shot Syndra. I'm surprised that she still went towards the Luden's Echo instead of finishing up the Zanya's. So, very interesting to see that itemization come out. That it would be finishing the Zanya.
Yeah, and I feel that might come back to bite him a little bit. We do see another Zanya's being prepped on the side of Learning Brain, but he is so drastically far behind right now, 0-4 and 2. And he did buy that Darksteel to try and keep himself alive, but I don't understand that buy, right? Early on, you're already down. Why spend 350 gold when you're not really going to get much return out of it?
Yeah, I mean, can get a return. Hook does miss. And I mean, now looking at the map state, we kind of just need to see what Virginia can do. They're just going to secure the dragon here. Not anything that can be contested. For RMU, they're just really trying to scale. Ace does pop. Blade trying to look for something. Solar Flare comes out.
Yeah, and I mean, that's, again, a good attempt. Burning Summoners for ultimates is always a favorable trade. Not only that, that does mean that Ace has a window of opportunity to just jump onto Koskinen, who, this time around, yes, he had a fantastic game before, but this time he has definitely been suppressed in this mid to late game so far.
I mean, this game is in such interesting state. We really haven't seen either top laner. The jungle difference is immense. The mid lane difference isn't that immense, but it's still pretty strong. And we're just waiting on the ADCs to scale. Xayah is ahead of the Lucian, which is really bad right now for the side of Virginia Tech here. They need this Lucian to come online. He's going towards the Essence Reaver, which is... It's a late game-ish scaling build. But at the end of the day, the Xayah still does outscale, and right now is definitely outpacing Ace, though.
Really is, but here we go. A nice dive in. Does mean the Zanya's has been popped, but might be the kill. Actually flashes as well, so burning multiple big factors. So Ace coming out on top in that trade. His ultimate's going to be up fairly quickly to be able to try another kill. Or another attempt, at least. At it though. A nice slow pace here, and RMU are definitely slowing down the pace here. They did say, all right, we lost the early game. We are not going to win that factor. What can we do? Try and power farm, keep our CS up, keep everyone alive, mitigate the damage and the bleeding, and try and hope for another mid to late game mistake from Virginia Tech to really power through once again.
Yeah, no. And I mean, right now, what we are kind of waiting for is that second itemization breakpoint. We need to see the Gangplank hit that 2 items. He's going towards the lethality build. It's kind of interesting to see. You do have a lot of squishy people on the side of Virginia Tech. But the other bit of it is more the fact that we need to see Virginia Tech hit their ultis. We need the Orin ulti to be there. We need the Solar Flare to land as well, that we haven't really seen the Solar Flare land since laning phase, and it's kind of hurt Virginia Tech at the end of the day.
Yeah, it really has, and you know, they're having good ones, but we have to see this late game again. As you stated, the Solar Flare hasn't hit, but 955 has definitely been on point with a lot of these cocoons. He's been there, ready to make the play. Did go the Morello Nomicon first to really cut down on Turv's healing, as well as Mergeri and Learning Brain. So having that possible advantage means that it's going to be very dangerous moving in towards that late game for Learning Brain or anyone to walk through the jungle. 955 has already deleted, I think, Learning Brain twice through a brush advantage, so we'll have to see if he's able to do it again, and if they're able to secure Baron pressure and be able to really force open this game number 2.
Yeah, and right now Virginia Tech has the pressure. Both 3 lanes pushing in, and they can just freely start off the Baron and pull on. And now it's all on RMU, kind of see on. They're not going to be able to get to it. 3 Baron goes over.
Yeah, not at all, and we do see a little bit of a scuffle between the 2 supports, but an easy Baron, and this time around, Virginia Tech definitely looking more clean.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, right now Virginia Tech just to be cool, and they're not letting up. They're getting all of their objectives, and this Orin is just continuing to apply side lane pressure. He just has double upgraded items, and there's not much that Turb can.
Looking down the itemization, we do see 2 Molten items. We do see the Frozen Fist as well as the Forge Fire Cape for Ornn. In that mid lane, we do see the Yomo's Wraithblade as well as finally an upgraded Might of the Rune King. So multiple upgraded items and factors from Phantom Brick. And this is exactly what you want, doubling up on the fact that you have an Infernal Dragon on top of it. This team is going to be so scary. A flash out from Space Maker. Not feeling great about losing that so early.
I mean, just going to be another objective. Going over to the side of Virginia Tech. There isn't much that RMU can do. You're down 5k. You kind of just have to hope to God that you can scale at this point. You need the Syndra to hit 3 items. You need the Gangplank to hit 3 items now. Like, that's basically your only hope. Zed now sitting at 3. Have the Orin item. The fact that RMU is just so far behind this.
Yeah, and they're not able to scale properly either. Looking around, you see 3 items completed for the side of, of Virginia Tech, as you stated, but looking down at the primary playmakers, you know, Mergery, he's had an okay game, but he's matched now, only 30 CS up. He needs way more advantages, and Gangplank only sitting on 2 items as well. This is not the point that you want him to be at. You want him to force up, and honestly, this 1-3-1 is doing so much work, claiming 2 inner turrets as well, looking to force down this mid lane and possibly look at an inhibitor tower.
Yeah, there's not much that...
Ooh. Oh, that was so painful right there, as Mergery is almost deleted. 955 not able to finish it up, but that is going to be another jump in on that bottom side, so plays being made all around the map. Nice knockup right there. Learning Brain is going to be on his last leg. That's going to be the kill for Phantom Brick as they break open this stale turtling from the side of RMU, and the inhibitors are now on the side. Oh, nice stun actually going out. Plan's actually used, so it looks like Koskinen is actually used to the Ignite. Not able to play that out properly, so losing that summoner spell for nothing.
I mean, this game is just being cracked wide open by the side of Virginia Tech. That's the knockup.
Yeah, a nice little hook there, but that's not going to be too much as the root actually goes down. That might be it. Unleashed Power does shut down the Orin. This might be the fight that RMU wants. They're looking for it. Does slash away. Smite Infinity not going to be sunned up. Actually dodges out the Scout of the Week as well, but Ace is saying, thank you. I will get some damage down. 2 inhibitors down, losing 2 inhibitor turrets as well. And suddenly RMU completely on the back foot.
This game is really difficult. We're the side of... And the thing is, there's not much that can be done. Syndra's just so far behind.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Do you? Do we hate to see it? Like, just got deleted. Chilling Smite comes out. 955 might. Yep.
Not going to be able to repel in time. Turb going to claim that solo kill. Exactly what you want, but it might be too little too late. Again, Infernal. Oh, yep, that is
Bye-bye.
actually definitely too little too late, as Turb has to run. Uses that speed up as best he can from the Ghost Blade. But it looks like he's
might
just
be
going to be
able to get
chased
an
all the way
execute.
around, as we do see Phantombrick saying, "Thank you very much. I will meet you in that jungle side." Turb says, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
I mean, if Phantom Brick wasn't there, that's a free escape, but it's doomed at that point. Like, there's nothing. But, you know, at this point, we're just waiting to see if RMU can come back. That it's 8K gold lead, give or take, a half K gold lead in favor of Virginia Tech here. It is very difficult to see any way back. You need the Syndra to one-shot someone. You need Zaya to stay alive against the threat or against the Zed. And remember, that was their one win condition. Zed.
Oh, but here we go. A nice call. The Forge God in. Solo Flare does mean the rest of the team is split up, and that's an immediate 2 kills going down in favor of Virginia Tech, who look like they are on the rampage and on the revenge path. Claiming game number 2. They want to finish it up. Nice scout of the week. Stalls the inevitable as Fong Francis, this ADC on a mission. One more auto attack might do it. No, not able to claim it. Does not get hit by the scout of the week either. But it does not matter, as they are on those Nexus towers. They are on to the Nexus, and they will claim game number 2 to force this into the final game.
And that game looked a lot cleaner than the last one. Ends the game 10 up. There isn't really much that RU could have done there. They needed to avoid getting the Zed fed. That's exactly what happened. Roaming around, getting those kills, was just able to basically put the team on his back and saying, all right, let's go. Ends the game with 4 items, just ran through everyone. There was really nothing that could have been done.
And I have to say that the doubling down on Virginia Tech's on their strong points, right? They knew that they won the early game. They just needed a little bit more, and they took that to the next level. We were wondering if they were able to pull it off, if they were able to really capitalize on their strengths, and their strength was we had the early game. We had that advantage. We had that ability to shut down their laners. We just needed that extra oomph to close out the game. They found the Zed, they found the Lucian, 2 early game powerhouses that, if fed, are able to roll over the game. So I love that adaptation, and I love bringing that out in game number 2. We'll have to see if they can bring it out in game number 3. Looking at RMU, though, what do they do to counteract this suddenly almost over-aggressive Virginia Tech?
They need some way to stop Ace from getting out of control, to roam all over the place and just get kills. Burning Brain, not the best performance coming out from him. Jerry getting caught out way too much. When you're playing a utility champion like Zaya, you need to be able to live. You have the utility with your, have the invulnerability as well with your ulti, but if you can't use it effectively, then you die. I think something better that they could have done is, again, the Kate Morgana was up for the past 2 matches. Could have done it this match. Might have been the difference between the loss here and a victory they could have gotten.
We'll definitely have to see if they can pull it off in game number 3. But again, we will be moving into that all-important series-defining game to see if RMU are able to bring it back and prevent a mini reverse sweep, or if Virginia Tech are going to take it to them and say, we got this, to claim a 2-0 in their group. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
cover your wounds, but underneath them, a million voices in your head that whisper, stop now. Another twist of the knife, a turn of the screws, it's all in your mind, and it's fighting you on yourself. The storm is coming. Wow, kid, what you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 3 between Robert Morris University Eagles and Virginia Tech. Both of these teams have taken a game off of each other, so both of them vying for that 2-0, not wanting to drop down to 1-1 in their group phase. But again, game number 1 going over to RMU in a fairly defensive match for them, coming back with some great action, capitalizing off of some mistakes from Virginia Tech. But game number 2, surprising us all, pulling out the Zed and the Lucian to take it through the early to mid game.
Again, the win for Virginia there was getting that head so far ahead where you could just one shot anyone. And that's exactly what happened. At mid, even though there were some questionable dives, it just did not matter. The Zed was able to stay ahead in CS, was able to keep getting kills wherever he went, and it was just destruction from there. Excuse me. The main thing that was concerning coming out from RMU was learning Brain. He just had a terrible performance. There was basically nothing that he did that panned out correctly. Ends the game 0-6. And overall, just was not useful that game in any way, shape, or form.
And we did wonder about that before as well, because of the fact that he had that same issue in game number 1. He didn't have as much pressure as we assumed he would. And again, we're watching 955 seem to always get the better of him. Yes, he rotates for those global objectives, but he needs to be aggressive in terms of allowing his team to get a little bit of a lead. Generally, I like to say you shouldn't rely on your jungler to always give you an advantage. You should learn to make your own advantages as best you can. But at the same time, when the enemy jungler is constantly hounding a lane, constantly making moves around the map, you have got to respond. That is your job as a jungler. And again, we see him trying to power farm. We see him trying to take camps. That is not enough. Start trying to lay down pressure. Go for that early level 2 gank, especially if you're Gragas or J4. I think Gragas has one of the better, the possible better level 2 or level 3 gank potentials. And it's just, it doesn't seem like he's utilizing it to the full extent.
No, not at all. And I mean, just looking at the drafts that are coming out, they seem very scattered throughout, and just it can be done a bit better. Though, we have seen the more questionable drafts win the game. So, well, what do we know at this point, right?
I would kind of agree, but again, both the teams have tried to follow their own certain style of gameplay, right? Virginia Tech in game number 1, as we do get into game draft for game number 3, Virginia Tech have said, okay, we win the early game, let's double down on that. They played it to perfection. RMU did the same thing in game number 1. They said, okay, scaling is the name of our game. We're going to go with that. And so I do agree that both these teams have decided to play to their strengths. This time around, RMU actually ban out the Gragas. I think that might be a possible hit to 955, who might also play this champion, but they do ban that out. So changing it up from their usual setup of the heavy hitters, such as running for that ADC possible ban, but they do keep the Evelynn and Karthus, so 3 jungle bans against the side of 955, really keeping him out of this game and automatically picking up the Xayah.
Yeah, no, and I mean, the Xayah has been a key pick for everyone. But we did see last game that, it wasn't given enough time to scale, and it just kind of fell flat here. So Virginia Tech does have the opportunity to counterpick with a really strong bot lane here. They do pick the Rakan up just to counter out the Xayah Rakan. Would thus came. Morgana is still up for RMU regardless. Orin is picked up for Virginia Tech, and both teams have been in love with this Orin pick. The long-range engage is something so versatile that you just can't live without at this point. Nautilus, though, might just be the response here that RMU have been looking for to stop this Orin engage, as well as the Rakan with the J4 to follow it up.
Yeah, and I like this style again. RMU going a little bit more ham. They're trying to be, I think, a little bit more aggressive towards that mid to late game. This is the style that they want in game number 1. They said, all right, you have engaged, we have engaged. Let's see who wins with this engage factor. And oh no, Ace, are you really going to blind pick this for game number 3? A Yasuo blind pick into a Nautilus J4 Xayah.
Yikes. But I mean, at least it's not an NA Jace question mark?
Quite possibly, but that is going to be a Gangplank ban out. So we're definitely not going to see that Orin versus GP matchup anymore. We are going to see something a little bit different and have to decide. Lee Sin also banned away, so taking out a possible extra knockup. This might be a 5 ban against 955 here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an interesting matchup overall. The Malzahar is going to be banned out, as you really don't want to be paying that Malzahar tax here. You could always come back with the Skarner and put that J4 into the top lane. And it's not the worst thing into the Orin, but I feel that you're still better just keeping the J4 into the jungle. You do have the next pick here. Most of the time you see the Yasuo with the Gragas, it is banned out. The other knockup being J4 is already picked. Kaisa, though, going to be locked in here. So you are just leaving the jungle pick for last year.
Yeah, and that's going to be definitely super interesting here to take a look and see how they make it work. Again, this is a hyper-aggressive matchup here from Virginia Tech. They're really going hard for that mid-game scaling, hoping Yasuo gets a good matchup. And I'm not sure if this was the best course of action, but here we go. The Rumble pickup possibly going in that top side or mid lane even. We've seen him played in both. Excuse me. Seen him played in both situations. That does look like it is a mid lane Rumble with the Renekton going towards the top side. Again, they are free to switch considering this is pretty much an all melee squad except for the ADCs.
For me, this more points towards the Renekton mid. Renekton versus Yasuo is such a volatile matchup, and it goes in favor of the Renekton. The Rumble, yes, it is annoying for the Yasuo, but he can just take footwork and be fine. Versus the Renekton, he cannot fight until 2.5 items, right? Thing is, Renekton versus Orin, not the best, but Rumble versus Orin, the itemization changes for him, and it's not as strong as versus the Renekton. So this could possibly be the double flex. There are so many different ways that RMU can try to match this up. The Xin Zhao in the jungle, though, coming out from Virginia Tech, is really strong here. It does help the Yasuo, and it's going to basically be the same thing as last game. You're just going to camp mid and hope to God that you can just get this Yasuo snowballing, get Ace rolling, and have him just hard carry the game.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how it plays out. I do like the synergy though between Virginia Tech's setup. They needed another knockout. They needed that other potential. So getting the Zins out in there will help. But I do want to ask, from these last few games, we've seen both teams really take it to town. And again, these guys are not to be trifled with. They took down powerhouses in other leagues and other tournaments. Just from these matchups, who do you think really is going to come out with the lead or the advantage coming into game number 3?
I mean, at this point, it's just... I hate to use the word volatile again, but it's just so volatile. You have so many good ultis coming out from RMU, but Virginia Tech's team fight is no slouch. You have just stupid amounts of engage coming out from the Rakan and the Orin, the Xin Zhao for pick potential with the Yasuo, you have the Kai'Sa for your constant DPS, but on the flip side, you have such a strong front line coming out from RMU with the J4, with the Nautilus. Renekton becomes a pseudo tank. He's more of a bruiser. You have the Rumble Equalizer. You have so many things coming out from RMU. The team fight that they have is so much easier and better to execute. The only issue is that we've seen now 2 games in a row where Virginia Tech has kind of just taken to RMU and said, well, your early game ain't it, chief, and we're just going to run you. And that's exactly what happened last game. The first game, the only reason that it was able to win was because they were able to control the wave state and push everyone in and secure objectives and get picks afterwards. Right now for RMU, if the problems in the jungle aren't fixed this game, they are going to get ran once again.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Again, Learning Brain has been a definitive issue, and this time being forced off of the Gragas pretty much due to his own team, it seems like. They banned out the Gragas themselves, and so we'll have to see how that plays out if he's able to perform on the J4. Again, J4 probably the best level 2 ganker in the game. With that Flag and Drag, it provides so much CC, so much damage early on. So depending on where he decides to go, if he does try and make that move, trying to match 955 in terms of keeping that lane pressure is the key to the winning the game, as you stated. But looking at it right now, we do see the Renekton going in that mid lane, so we do see Yasuo possibly taking that exhaust. So looking at it overall, I mean, do you think this is a fair swap, putting the Rumble up against the Ornn?
100%. The Rumble just does so much better into the Ornn. Yes, it's a good matchup into the Yasuo, but Renekton is just so much better. Just the point and click CC, the amount of damage that he has, there's just not much the Yasuo can do in this matchup. And it's the fact that you need to keep Ace down early, because you know that 955 is just going to be sitting in that mid lane trying to get him out.
Yeah, and that is very, very true, and we'll have to see how it plays out. But again, we are getting into game number 3 here between Robert Morris University Eagles and Virginia Tech. But before we throw it to a break, I do want to talk about one of our other sponsors in Midwest Esports. Midwest Esports has been around for many years, starting out as a small student group out of Wichita State University in Kansas. Since then, Midwest Esports has grown to be a veteran organizer to tournaments and events throughout the U.S. They host tournaments for games such as League of Legends, Rocket League, and Overwatch, and many, many more. For more information, check them out at MidwestEsports.com for local events and possible upcoming tournaments and enjoyable experiences. So go ahead, check them out. But we will be right back with game number 3 between these two titans on the Rift to see who will take home this series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 between Virginia Tech and Robert Morris University. Eagles, we will see who comes out because, again, we've seen both these teams exemplify their strengths, but also show many cracks in the weaknesses. Again, Robert Morris University not having the greatest early game so far, whereas Virginia Tech have shown definite cracks in making mid to late game mistakes. So we'll have to see which one comes out on top, or if they're able to patch these issues mid series here to claim the series.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of this has been on Learning Brain. And putting him on a different jungler might be the play here. He did go with the Conqueror, and I personally, I'm not a fan of it. I would have much rather see the Electrocute. We do have a little bit of fighting here in the mid lane. This is gonna have to be a
that damage is huge, actually. Nice pulling the flash and the exhaust out of Ace, so that's going to be a big win for Koskinen in that mid lane. Getting both of those summoners means that Yasuo now has to play extremely safe. Oh, that could have been a very bad face check.
Here's the thing. He loses most of the mid wave as well, so his lane is basically done at this point. There is not much that he can do in this lane anymore without 955. He's going to be a level down both summoner spells. Like, if the word doomed has ever been used, right now is where you use it. That lane is absolutely doomed.
Nice little poke coming down onto Smite Infinity. But if this was also ever a time for 955 to really show up and show his early game aggression, this would be it. Getting a trade possibly in that mid lane again for the summoners, or just helping out that mid lane like he has done before, would be a definitive possible talking point. We do see a little sneaky cheek in here, a little cheat, and there it is. A nice flash forward does catch Smite Infinity, and that's going to be the Ignite down as well. First blood going to Mergeri. And you were talking about it, right? I'm sorry to cut you off, but you were talking about it. We were wondering. Learning Brain looks to be a lot more active already, right off the bat.
Yeah, no, 100%. Learning Brain.
He missed it.
Why? Why did we even compliment the guy? We should have just said that, he was, it was average, and that was that. Maybe that wouldn't have happened. All right,
yeah, and that's a huge mistake coming out. So top lane possibly getting burned down here. Vandenbrick not wanting to burn the flash just yet. Might have to. Able to flash away. One more tower shot. No, he might go down. No, they both survive on a sliver of health. And again, these two top laners scrapping to the teeth.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
1 HP in a dream, dude. Holy.
Oh my gosh. That is one of the most disheartening things, because that happened in game number 2 as well. Just everyone slightly freaking out, but here we go. Mid lane possibly having some issues as 955 says, hello, I will be right here. Thank you very much. Nice knockup, nice closure. And that's going to be a kill for Ace. Exactly what he needed to get back in this game.
Oh, geez. Robert Morrison University. They built such a good lead and just threw it away within a matter of like a minute and a half. They burned the summoners from the Yasuo. Everything was looking good. And then the kill as well bot lane into just the trade back. As we do see the hook land. There's not much that'll go on here. But again,
nice trade going off on that bottom side. I don't know if Spacemaker had to use the dredge line to really collapse that, but it's still not bad. Getting some nice damage, and so it's dangerous to think overall, though, that this game has been going so back and forth, such on a nice edge, that these teams feel pressured to make plays that are unconventional for them.
And I mean, now you run into the issue that the Renekton was ahead, and now he is really behind. Yasuo already has Grievous Wounds, or not Grievous Wounds, Berserker Greaves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where things become okay for him. He did go Conqueror, however, which is more entail that he's looking to team fight more than anything. Judge line does connect.
Oh, but here we go. Nice poke going down. Space Maker trying to make the play, but this might be what it is. Both junglers are set in this bottom lane. 955, nobody knows, and there it is. The big gank coming out, and immediately 955 claims that first kill. That's going to be another one. The feathers are flying, but that's not enough as Mergeri is trying to claim that last kill. Might collect it. No, he is able to get away at 955 with a successful lane gank and counter gank. Closes that out. Nice recall, though. Means that it's going to be a 1-for-1 for the ADCs, but an overall 3-for-1 for Virginia Tech.
And this is going from bad to worse for the side of Robert Morris. Yes, you do trade back the kill, but now you're down 3. This is just terrible right now for him. Oh my god.
Turb just throwing out a little bit of the poke saying, no, you don't get your item just yet. Oh, he's going to do it again. He did it again. It's so troll. But here we go in that mid lane. Ace trying to dash away right now and keeping himself up and alive. Equalizer actually gets thrown down as well. Big fight in this mid lane. Breaking out. Ace going extremely low. Almost goes down. Has that tornado up. Does miss. So aggressive overall. Had to lose the exhaust. And Koskinen also lost the ignite. So double offensive summoners. And they both only had their flash. This could be a big play in that mid lane if they so try.
They can try to go for it, but nothing really to happen here. Robert Morris just needs to find some kind of pick, and that's exactly what they're trying to look for here by keeping the J4 around. Zaya just there to bait a little bit. They have no idea of this. Might actually work. Wave is collapsing towards them.
Yeah, they don't have level 6 either, and Fong Francis does not have the flash, so they're going to try and get out, and they do. A very clean disengage right there. Didn't lose any summoners either. So they have to feel good about keeping Learning Brain down, but at the same time, we're seeing Learning Brain constantly rotating, constantly trying to make a play. This is definitely the right move, even though they don't get as much as they wish out of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, right now, we do take a look at the gold lead, and it's really just all on 955 here.
Oh.
As we do see the hook come in.
Oh my gosh, and as soon as we talk about the gold, a kill occurs as Mergeri takes down the other part of the Lovers duo. Not feeling the greatest, but that is going to be a solid claim on the kill. And that does mean that Mergeri is now 3-1, feeling perfectly in sync as we were talking about the gold advantages. Now Mergeri is sitting approximately, I want to say 700 gold above Fong Francis. So absolutely happy with the events that have transpired so far.
Yeah, about 600 give or take. The Kaisa, though, going with the double pickaxe. So that most likely means she's going to be going into the tier build and then into the Rage Blade. But not getting the tier already 8 minutes in is going to be costly for her. She needs to start stacking that soon if she wants to be able to scale into the late game. Gold lead now only at about 500 for the side of Virginia Tech. And it's pretty okay right now. The only issue is that this Renekton is falling behind against Yasuo, and it's not supposed to be that way.
Not at all. And again, the neglect from Learning Brain, he has been able to keep up on that bottom side, but his constant attention to the bottom lane, I'm not sure is warranted at this point. Mergeri is fairly far ahead. Needs to start looking towards that mid lane, keep the Yasuo down, make sure he doesn't keep scaling. They don't have the proper, I believe, hard CC to keep Ace down and out of a fight indefinitely, right? I want to see a little bit more pressure played to that mid lane, make sure he can't even get a good set of items off, and then see where to go from there. We do see here another lane gank coming out. Cataclysm does land, double knockup, but on the back line, we do see 955 going on the ADC. Featherstorm is used as well. Teleport coming in as Well, that's going to be a 4-on-3 as Phantom Brick says hello, another teleport, and that's going to be Equalizer thrown down, does miss most of the people. Now the turnaround once again, flash out from Phantom Brick. Here comes Koskinen, tries to use his Dominus, and they do get the grab. That is going to be the kill. Phantom Brick does take that one down in the backline. Dominus is going off, but he does pay with his life, but that's going to be a 2-for-1 so far. And that's going to be another tower, actually the first tower of game number 3 here, while Ace is just hard pushing in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not the worst thing for the side of Virginia Tech to just give Ace all of these solo plates. Yes, you do give up a bunch of kills over towards this Xayah, and Jerry will be the hard carry for this game. But at the end of the day, Ace getting these plates, not bad at all. This Yasuo is going to be a monster in the mid game, but as you said, the first tower is going to go over to Robert Morris University, and this is what we wanted to see from them. We wanted to see them overcoming the early aggression that was going to come out of Virginia Tech, and this is what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think Koskinen also stole away the large Raptor. Spacemaker not properly seeing. Oh, he actually went back in, has to flash away. Not exactly what you want when you're under 25% HP and under 5% mana.
Definitely not the play. But plates are going to fall. Probably not the tower here, but that will be 3 plate. They do have the damage here going over. So again, this is how you equalize the gold lead, little by little. They are going to push in the next wave, but they do have to back. The Rumble will be coming back soon, and they do have vision of everyone backing. So it is an okay state now. Game is tied up in gold now for both teams. And now it's just more how will RMU transition their gold. Mostly towards the top side. This is going to have to result into a Rift Herald and then more plates to come from there.
Yeah, I would assume we saw some pings go down earlier on 955, showing that he was still in his jungle, still trying to collect some stuff. So you do see a move from the bottom lane up to the top for RMU. They are going to collect even more plates. It's going to be 5 plates already. This is going to be, I believe, the 6th and 7th for them, collectively against the 6 that have been collected between the mid and bot for Virginia Tech. You do see the Rift Herald pinged out as well. So multiple objectives being safely guarded here, or possibly guarded. And again, here it comes. We do see that Rift Herald being started up, but Koskinen possibly finding Ace. Ace gets stunned up, run in as well, does dash right back out. But there it is, the nice depth charge into the massive fight, and Cataclysm does claim the kill on to Yasuo. That's going to be a 2-for-0 for RMU.
Yeah, and this is why you pick the Renekton. Point and click CC into the Dominus gives them so much HP and regen, and this is just going to result in the Rift Herald, which they just might pop to the mid lane here, try to get some more plates here, which wouldn't be the worst idea. Could also just clear the wave's top and try to get double towers. There's a bunch of things that they can do with the Rift Herald. Might just be spawned in the mid lane.
Yeah, you're looking at it. They're going to try and knock down these last few plates. They do have 20 seconds, so really hoping to collect at least double-digit plates, and they do. That is going to be another knockdown, possibly one more. No, they do have to leave. They're getting collapsed on by 5 members, so that tower is going to stay. But overall, fairly strong. 3 on the top side, 4 in mid, so that's a collective of 10. Possibly 11 here? Actually, way more than that. I'm sorry, my math is completely off, as that was 4 in both of the mid and top, so that's actually, I believe, 13 plates total, in comparison to just, I think, 4 in the bottom lane for Virginia Tech. So massive gold swing, as you can see between the gold leads there. That is 3.5k lead at 14 minutes.
And I mean, we look at the gold lead here, and it's just everyone leading up against their opponent, which is kind of what you want to see here. This Renekton should be doing well into the Yasuo. The Rumble is obviously going to do well into the Orin here. But then you look at bot lane, 1.2k gold lead. You see the support lead. It's just massive here for the side of RMU. The question is now, can they continue to put their foot on the gas and keep Virginia Tech on the back foot? That, mind you, Virginia Tech is the one that's looking for this mid game. The Yasuo has now hit one item. The Kaisa is still looking for that Rage Blade, and that's going to be yet another tower going over to the side of RMU.
Yeah, I mean, that's just pretty much freestanding gold. They were all below, I think, 500 health, so just a few auto attacks does knock it down. Just clearing that up and making sure they open up their possible advantages around the map, really forcing Virginia Tech to play a little bit more safe. We did say that Virginia Tech excelled when they were winning that early game, winning those early game to mid game fights, and here we see them on the back foot as we do see a nice little grab under the tower here, but Smite Infinity does have to burn the ultimate. The Grand Entrance is taken away, or the quickness, sorry. Not allowed to have that available for the upcoming fights, so the tower holds. Koskinen claims that top side, and he's going to feel pretty okay matching Ace now in that mid lane.
Yeah, I don't really know if the Grand Entrance needed to be, or not. Now you have me saying
I know, right? Mix up on the skills, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if the quickness had to be used there. I think he had enough movement speed just to get out by himself.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's a huge team fighting ult, and it's a very long cooldown, especially the fact that he only has 10% CDR. So this is something that RMU need to keep in mind. Infernal Dragon is coming up in about 2.5 minutes. So the ulti will be up by then, but they can start to pressure some of the side lane towers. We do see the Crocodile in the top lane. Ace trying to get a trade here. Not going to go for the ulti though.
Turb holding on to this bottom lane. Still looking to complete one item. But I think he has enough gold in his back pocket to really make that happen as soon as he backs. But just want to make sure that Ace was not able to hold on to that. Looking at it overall, an Infernal Drake up for third Dragon. So that's going to be super interesting to see the fight up here if they so decide. And how they make it work. So both sides really vying for that bottom lane pressure here, as we do see a Fnatic Death Brush being placed.
Yeah, they are looking towards the Renekton here. They could go for it. I don't really think they're going to get much of anything out of it.
Nope. He does just dash out. Crescent Guard was popped. Not going to help them at all, though. This is now a return collapse from the side of RMU. They say, okay, we burned the Grand Entrance. We burned the Crescent Guard. 955 is vulnerable. That means Virginia Tech does have to back away, respecting the damage output.
Yeah, and they concede the vision game here just a little bit. So this is going to be massive now for the side of RMU. They're going to be able to have the fast track towards the mid lane, and they have the choke point in the jungle. They don't have the equalizer, though. Can't really go for much of anything. Phantom Brick is forced out of the lane, not really able to farm. Ace has to respect the Renekton here, or he's just going to solo die to it.
Yeah, and you can definitely see who has priority around that Dragon Pit as well. 2 pink wards along that inside mid lane track through Virginia Tech's side, as well as a couple wards on the bottom side, keeping that vision clear. So if Virginia Tech do decide to go for this Dragon, they will have to blind phase check it. We do see Phantom Brick coming down, trying to save the teleport, make sure that they don't have to worry too much about that. But he actually misses that headbutt, trying to make his way back out. Doesn't have to burn the flash though, so keeping that summoner spell available. Here we go, Rumble down here as well. This could be the fight that everyone is looking for. About to break out here, Learning Brain. All the ultimates are available. They're positioning. They're hoping to make a play. It'll depend on who decides to make that first leap. There it is, Cataclysm on 3. Big equalizer goes down, but that's Killer Instinct to get him out of sight. But that is a huge return ultimate for the Call of the Forge God. They get the kills, they get the damages, and that's going to be Virginia Tech feeling great as 955 and Ace clean up this fight in an immaculate re-engage. A quadra kill for Phantom Brick. He's looking for the final kill, but no. Pentakill denied by Mergeri. But that was a massive, unfortunate fight there for RMU as they lose 4 and Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the combination Zaya or I thought that was Zaya. My God, they look so similar with the skin. But the thing is, oh wait a minute, it's not the situation where you want to be.
No, Mergeri, you took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. You definitely took a wrong turn as the shutdown goes over to Ace 2-1-4 on this Yasuo, feeling amazing about himself.
Yeah, now they can turn their sights towards securing Baron Vision. Knockup does miss.
Oh, he does keep himself safe. A lot of healing coming out of Smite Infinity, so doesn't lose anything out in that trade. But again, we have to go back to how well that team fight was fought. Again, a 3-man Cataclysm by Learning Brain and an Equalizer to boot actually landed on multiple members. It's just the re-engage, the Call of the Forge God plus Last Breath from Yasuo immediately equalized and did so much more damage.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, the Equalizer in that last fight was a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
Could have centered it more towards the Cataclysm. But that Call of the Forge God into the Last Breath is just so disgusting, and especially if Ace just holds it for a little bit, he can get upwards of a 5-man knockup there if the ulti's good. So right now, Virginia Tech, even though they're still down in gold by a little bit, they're still in a really good position. It's just super dependent on if the Yasuo can hit a good ulti and Fong can stay alive and put out some DPS.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that happens. Again, Ornn Phantom Brick up 4-2-0 already. 2 items to his name upgraded. Frozen Fist plus that that Infernal Mask, giving him an extra, I believe, 25 magic resist and a little bit extra health as well. So he is the tank of all tanks right now. Knocking down that bottom lane, the first tower for Virginia Tech as well. So they're slowly attempting to accrue this lead back.
Yeah, I mean, right now the gold lead is based on those turret plates from earlier. That's basically it. Kills, they're behind. CS is not looking all too good except for bot lane. So right now for RMU, they need to try to find some window to fight. Maybe catch out the Yasuo, just CC lock him down. Same thing with Fong here. Smite just going to be able to dash away. There's not much that you can do to catch him here. And this is basically just the story of the game. They're trying to get a pick here for the side of RMU, but they're not really going to be able to find it.
Yeah, and I feel like another issue that we're starting to see is the fact that there is so much healing on the side of Virginia Tech right now. You wouldn't expect it, but Ace with that Yasuo, with Conqueror, can gain so much healing just from dashing around, just from having that Conqueror procced multiple times. And no one on the other side is trying to calm it down. There is no Bramble Vest. There is no, I believe that's I don't remember the item specifically, but no Mortal Reminder build component coming out for them either. And it's just, if you don't burst them out, right? If you don't burst out Yasuo, he will survive. He will wreck your team. And no one on the other side either has enough power to cut through Phantom Brick, who has honestly been impressive standing in this front line.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Executioner's Calling is worth 800 gold. You need to buy it. That's going to be the flash out from Fong, though.
Yeah, burning that flash might be able to help them out later in a big way. So we'll have to see if that happens, but doesn't look like it does. Baron might be the next objective on the table here coming up shortly.
My thing is that's kind of a panic flash.
Oh, but here we go. Mergeri getting found out, does get hit, has to use a Feather Storm, but a nice knockup. Death Charge is not enough. They do claim that life, and they're going to go for another one. Last Breath does catch Learning Brain as well. He has to flash away over this side, but that's going to immediately call for the Baron as Learning Brain is under 25% HP. They burn this so fast, already dropping to 8,500 health, and there he goes. In goes Yasuo, does claim that kill, and Space Maker is going to go down as well. Koskinen is not going to be able to do anything as he has juggled, bounced, and put down. Triple kill for Ace, 5-1-4, as they get the delayed Ace and the Baron to boot.
Yeah, and they're just going to run it down mid. I mean, listen, if T1 has taught us anything, it's how to run it down mid. And this is exactly what Virginia Tech is going to do here. They're going to run it straight down mid, try to crack the base. This Zaya needs to stay alive here, or the game might actually end. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh,
You're done.
and
Okay.
unfortunately, the lovers have to watch the other die as they claim that mid lane inhibitor tower and the inhibitor in one fell swoop. The gold lead ballooning from a measly 2.5 to a 4. I think that's actually a 5K lead right now. And immediately, Virginia Tech saying, "We got this. We don't care what you bring to the table. We will win those fights."
It's interesting to see the fact that that Fong decided to go towards the top lane. I thought that they could have just pushed as 5 mid, especially the fact that she's this strong, and just kind of maybe taken a Nexus Tower, maybe 2 of them, and then gone towards the Infernal Drake. But I mean, I guess you do take the top T1 as a consolation prize, I guess. You also do take the inhibitor. So more gold in the pocket of Virginia Tech. Right now they're looking strong as hell. Yasuo is sitting on 3 items. This is a very dangerous Yasuo at the end of the day, and there's not much that RMU can do here.
Yeah, and I have to say, the idea of having the Renekton in the mid lane was not bad by any means. They almost had it, but we can't even talk now as the big jump in is there. Cataclysm lands on 3, but I don't think it's enough as in goes Fong Francis. Killer Instinct directly in the backline. He's going to pay with his life, but that's going to be enough time, I think, for the rest of Virginia Tech to make it back. Another nice knockup, and there we go. A double kill for Ace as he dies back in. Last breath used, and a massive kill in the backline as 955 cleans up that kill. Turban Spacemaker are the only ones left to live to tell the tale, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the Baron empowered minions are pushing down for Virginia Tech. Oh, Smite Infinity is saying he'll run interference, and that just might be the game as Virginia Tech, off of a massive Baron fight, ended to a 2-1 series.
Yeah, no, and Virginia Tech cleaned up their mistakes from the first game that they had, where they were very indecisive about the Baron. This time they cut it off at 3K, turned, killed everyone, and then just finished the Baron, resulting in the win. And they do move up to 2-0 in the season. I mean, this right now is very good for the side of Virginia Tech, but for the side of Robert Morris University Eagles, they do have a lot of work to do here. I mean, overall, just shoddy performances coming out from Learning Brain, from Jerry in certain situations, and overall, it just wasn't impressive, to say the least.
I mean, that is true, but you also have to look at the fact that they did put up a performance. This was not a one-sided match. This was not a one-sided series by any means. Both teams were outputting fairly strong, aggressive manners, and it seemed that Virginia Tech, like you said, were able to find that tempo, were able to really collect and take it over and punish key mistakes. And it's interesting to see how they'll be able to fix those up and if they can continue that run as they have played it out. Again, Ace doing very well. Koskinen went from a perfect game in game number 1, 7-0-9 to 3-5-2 in this series. And as you said, looking at that jungle Learning Brain has to come online a little bit more. 1-5-8 scoreline the entire time was very, very rough. And that did lead to their demise. But overall, once again, congratulations to Virginia Tech taking the series tonight 2-1. Robert Morris University Eagles moving down into a 1-1 scenario, and we'll have to see if they can bring it back in week number 3. But again, that is going to be it from us here at the Upsurge Esports Premier League caster's desk. My name is Orbital. I was joined here by Sordo, and from all of us here at Upsurge Esports, thank you so much for tuning in, and good night.